In my last video, some of my viewers were upset with the footage I showed, as they thought I was just trolling everybody with a nice 3-minute video of a river. So I do apologize, I probably should have pointed out these apparitions later in the video. So today I'm going to quickly go over that footage and show you exactly what I see, as well as talk about some stories of the fairy folk, the Fae. Now, one thing I am skeptical about though with this footage is since it is so hard to see these apparitions, I do think it's unlikely that whoever took this video would have actually seen them. They probably would have watched this once, saw that there were no otters in the area, then never watched it again. But also because these apparitions are so hard to see is exactly the reason why so many like it. As if it was a hoax, you would think that they would have done a lot more, at least make it obvious that something paranormal was going on. Some think that it's just something natural, like fog or the sun coming through the trees. But I see something that looks almost invisible slowly walking across a log. It even appears to have wings. Then a much larger apparition of a woman appears. And because these figures are almost invisible is why many people think that it could be proof of the Fae. The Fae are invisible beings. If they don't want you to see them, then you won't. Although I have heard my share of stories about people who stated that they have snuck up on the Fae, and when the Fae realize that they're being watched, they either attack them or turn invisible. Now before I go over the footage, I just want to go over a couple stories about the Fae, as I find these encounters extremely fascinating. Before Christianity swept through Europe, the Fae were common. People would encounter them all the time. Well, at least according to the old stories. But the Fae are a heck of a lot more sinister than what Disney makes them out to be. Well, at least some of them. Some were known to be more like tricksters, little people who would enter your house after you went to sleep, then they would hide your remote. Some legend states that they would even try to steal your children, then replace them with a changeling. Now that's pretty creepy. Then there are beings like water spirits that could actually kill you. One of my favorite stories is about a water spirit that was causing havoc to the Picts, the native people that lived in this region. In 565 AD, in England, a famous Irish missionary was trying to cross a lake, and while he was looking for a safe way to pass, he came upon a group of Picts, and they were burying one of their friends that had just been killed by a massive water spirit, or a water beast. And according to legend, after they told this missionary what had happened, he put his staff on the dead man's chest, and the man came back to life. Then he ordered one of the monks to jump into the water and go get the boat from the other side, and without question he did. And while he was swimming, they saw the water beast roar and start moving towards him. So the Picts were yelling at the monk, trying to warn him that the beast was coming right for him. Then the Irish missionary stepped up right to the edge of the lake, made the sign of the cross and said, "You will go no further. You will not touch this man, leave at once." And this huge creature that was only a couple feet away from this monk stopped, let out a roar, and went back in the other direction extremely fast, like it was terrified. Now today we know this lake is Loch Ness, and this is allegedly the first documented sighting of the Loch Ness Monster. And the Picts were so amazed with this Christian missionary that they became Christians right then and there. They even got baptized in the loch, or so the story says. And after they converted to Christianity, this water beast was never seen again. Now this fascinating story reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Eric the Viking. In that movie, the Vikings and a Christian missionary were traveling to High Brazil to find a magical horn, the Horn of Resounding, that can take them to Valhalla. And while they were sailing, they came across a huge dragon, the dragon of the North Sea, and the Vikings were terrified. But the missionary couldn't see it. While the Vikings were fighting for their lives, he was just sitting on the boat wondering what the heck was going on. And since the Vikings never converted to Christianity, towards the end of the movie they were able to go to Valhalla, the Nordic afterlife for warriors who die in battle. But yet again this missionary couldn't see it. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to see it either, as this movie made it look kind of depressing. So what I'm trying to say is, there could be a possibility that what you believe can affect what you see or how you experience the world. A good example of this is religious people. Religious people who have near-death experiences in the West claim to have seen God or Jesus. But Hindus, they don't see Jesus, they see the god of death. Jewish people see angels, and atheists see family or friends, or this huge beautiful lake that's on fire. Also in the West we claim to see a light shining through a tunnel. But East Asians see a beautiful garden. It really is mind-blowing how these NDEs, near-death experiences, differ from where you live or what your religious beliefs are. Now let's go back to the footage that I showed in my last video, and I will show you what I see and why so many people who believe in the Fae like it so much. And please let me know if you think it's just CGI or maybe something natural. The first time I watched this, I didn't see anything. It did take me a while, but there is a lot going on here. If you look over here, the first thing you're gonna see is an apparition start to appear. Then something small with what looks like wings starts walking across this log, and you can clearly see its tiny legs moving, walking just like a human. And when this figure disappears, you can see the apparition of a much taller woman start to appear. Okay, I'm gonna play this again, but this time without the mouse pointer, and the larger the screen you are watching on, the better. Now after I showed this footage, I got a lot of comments from people saying that they saw other things in the video. One of my subscribers, Shane, sent this to my email. Now please let me know in the comments if you saw it, and also, did you see anything else? Until next time, this is Paranormal Junkie. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.